Today we look at the K series from Kawai. Consider their professional line. This is the entry product point, the K-200. We're going to take a listen to it. We're going to talk about the features on the K-200 and take a look at the beautiful cabinet design by Kawai. Hi, this is Patrick Marr coming at you from Alamo Music here in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com or check out our new website, alamopianogalleries.com, to see our 9 stores spread throughout the country. Come see us at one of our locations as we are spread out across 5 different states. Well, today we have a fantastic instrument to look at. It is the Kawai K-200. Really excited to play it for you guys. We'll take a listen to the tonal profile on the K-200. Also, we'll be talking about the Millennium III Action that is exclusive to Kawai. Really makes the K series kind of stand apart from other professional series upright pianos that are on the market. First, we are going to start with a piano fact. This is, how we start a lot of our segments is with a piano fact because we like to educate the world on all the unique things about pianos. This one that I was talking to someone about just yesterday is the difference between upright action and grand action. We will be looking at a piano with an upright action today, but just the fundamental differences between how the upright action works and how the grand action works. There is, of course, a key that's struck. On an upright piano, the key is a little bit shorter just because of space. When you think about an upright piano, the depth is, somewhere between 23, 24 inches, and it can be up to, 34, 35 inches, depending on the depth. But the key is going to be a little bit smaller than on a grand piano. The grand piano has the space to have a longer key. So right off the bat, you have more control on a grand piano because think about a longer tool with a pivot point. You have more nuances, you have more leverage for dynamic range. So that's the first big difference. The second big difference is the way the mechanism actually strikes the strings. So when the key is hit, then through the whipping cages, a whole mechanism goes off. But when you think about how the hammers strike the strings on an upright piano, the hammer is going to be striking from forward to back, and it's a very mechanical movement. When you strike the string, the hammer's got to strike or when you strike the note, the hammer has to strike the string and pull back. On a grand piano, the hammer's coming up, and it's actually striking the string up and then falling with gravity. So the actual grand piano action is a faster mechanical moving part than the upright action. So there's just a little bit of differences. A lot of times when people are looking, they say, hey, I'm going to go buy an upright piano because I just know it's less expensive than a grand, all that. A lot of times they will be surprised that there's similar priced used grand pianos out there to newer, nicer upright pianos. So there's not a very big difference when you are looking at entry-level grand pianos, especially on the used market versus a higher quality upright piano. And that really big difference can be the action and how it responds to the player. So as we move right into upright pianos, the K-200 today is from Kawai's K series. That is their professional series. It does get a little confusing. The K-15 is not part of the series. So I know it starts with a K, but the K series really kicks off at the K-200. There's a 300, a 400, a 500, and an 800. And we can kind of touch on those higher end models, but we've done a comprehensive series on the K series all the way through. The K-200 is what we're focusing on today. We didn't have a video on one of our best-selling pianos, and so we're like, hey, let's go look at the K-200. What makes it great? What makes it a really unique instrument? So Kawai's whole philosophy on piano is the future of piano. When you open up one of their uprights, when you see it on the grand pianos, it's printed on a lot of their instruments, the future of piano. And so Kawai takes that very seriously, and they have looked at their product line. Their K uprights have been around for a while. Before the K-200, it was the K2. And so there's been a very successful line of upright pianos from Kawai. And when they were looking at how do we modernize our pianos in the early 2000s, and really before that, they started using new materials on their action. So the Millennium III Action is what Kawai is kind of known for, is, hey, their value proposition is we have a better action than anybody else. What does that do? It's a stronger, more rigid action. that isn't susceptible to weather and humidity changes because a lot of the components are made out of carbon fiber. That carbon fiber ABS that they use, there's over 1,000 parts within the action. So when you look at the actual mechanics of the instrument, it's not using the traditional wood that is on the functionality part, the mechanical part. Of course, the soundboard's still going to be made out of wood. The cabinet's going to be made out of wood. Anything that is translating sound will be made out of wood. The keys are made out of wood. A lot of the vibration is important through wood, but the actual stress part of the action is going to be made out of a carbon fiber ABS material, which is stronger, lighter, and better than the wood alternatives. When you think about bicycles, when you think about golf clubs, all used to be made out of wood. What did they do? They innovated and they switched to a new material. Kawai did that same play and they said, hey, let's start using different materials in our actions. And that started way back in the 80s, and they introduced different materials that weren't wood in their actions. Grow to the turn of the century in the 21st century, and they introduced the Millennium III Action, which went in their grands first. The Millennium III Action for uprights came a little bit later. I want to say 2006 is when that was introduced. So the K-200 will have that ABS action, the carbon fiber ABS action. Very cool looking instrument, because when you pull off the top, you see all the black of the carbon fiber, and it has a very modern approach. So great feeling action, very smooth response, a lot of dynamic control. Has 3 pedals on the bottom, of course. You have your sustain pedal on the right. In the middle, you're going to have what is almost like a practice pedal is what they call it, but it lowers a piece of felt between the hammers and the strings. So when the hammer is striking the string, there's a piece of felt that dampens that sound and allows it to be played a little bit quieter, especially if you have others in the house, or if it's somewhere where you're trying to subdue the volume. That is a really cool feature. The last left pedal is a soft pedal that brings the hammers closer to the string. The striking distance is not as great, so you don't have as much of an attack on there. So that's what your pedals are going to do on this instrument. As you move up the K series, when you get to the K-800, there is actually a full working sus-the-noodle pedal in the middle. So that's a little bit more of advanced technology, and really you don't see that on uprights very often. It is on grand pianos. But on this one, there is the practice mute pedal, which brings that felt between. The lid does have an adjustable, this is something you see quite often on pianos, but there's an adjustable, at the top of the instrument, it's adjustable lid where you can kind of keep it propped up, almost like a grand piano. Instead of it being all the way closed or all the way open, there's like a prop position that allows a little bit more volume to be reflected. The best situations for an upright piano are to have it up against the wall. When you're playing it up against the wall, you get a lot of response that bounces off the soundboard that's projecting backwards. If you've ever seen the back of an upright piano, it almost looks like an unfinished product, and that's where your spruce soundboard is. That's where your support beams are. That's where the ribs are, and so it's actually projecting away from the player. And if it's against the wall, it projects against the wall and kind of bounces back. So just a different sonic experience than a grand piano. This K-200 is a 45-inch studio piano. It has a soft close lid, so when the piano, you don't have a 1-year-old at home, so the piano doesn't smash any fingers if you're slamming down the lids. That's a nice feature, but yeah, the slow close lid is on the full K series, including the K-200. 45 inches, that is going to be the height of the instrument. The width of the instrument is going to be right under 6 feet. It's going to be about 59 inches. So if you think about the soundboard space, it's going to be smaller because the frame and all that is on the outside, but about 45 inches of spruce up against the 57 to 59 inches of spruce. And so it's this big rectangle in the back, and that's your actual soundboard, which is producing and sustaining the volume that the strings set off. Let's take a listen to this. Ted is going to play it for us. We're going to hear the K-200, and we'll come back and talk about a couple more features on this specific entry-level K-200, and then the ones that get added as you move up the line in the K series. Ted makes the piano sound excellent, of course, but the K-200 is a fantastic instrument. A couple things that Kawai does a little different than other manufacturers. They make sure it's a very sturdy construction. They have 4 back posts on the back, solid spruce. The casters are not like steel casters at the bottom, so it is able to move around pretty fluidly. On this K-200, it's a single caster. As you move up the series, they become double casters, so you get double wheels per corner. It does get a little bit easier to move around once you move up to a K-300 or above. The key tops are acrylic on the K-200 on the white keys. As you move up to the K-500, so past the K-300 to the 500, they do become the Neotex, the premium kind of feel from Kawai. So you're getting the acrylic key tops on this. Retail price, MSRP at the time of making this video is around $83.95. It is available in polished ebony, that shiny black, satin ebony, that flat black. It is available in polished mahogany as well, so you can get the K-200 and that kind of woodish hue. The mahogany in the piano world is kind of a little bit more red, I would say, than in the wild, but a little bit red, brownish hue, but a polished look, so real nice. But yeah, besides that, the frame construction is very nice. Again, the soft close lid allows it to not bang around and it to be pretty sturdy. The music desk flips down. And just, yeah, great constructed instrument. Really kind of takes that first leap into making a professional level instrument that's affordable. As you do move up to the K-300, the location of so they make enough K-200s and the K-15s and the ST1s that all that is supported out of a Kawai-owned factory in Indonesia. When you do move up to the K-300 and above, they do switch production to the Japanese manufacturing plant. So just that is kind of the big difference and jump between the K-200 and the K-300. It does jump up about 3 inches as well. The K-200 is 45 inches. The K-300 jumps up to about 48 inches. So make sure you guys are subscribed because we will be reviewing every K-series piano. This is, again, the K-200 from Kawai. A fantastic instrument, really a great starter instrument if you are looking at acoustic pianos. The action alone, the way it responds, the Millennium III Action that they put in there, all are huge upgrades over, I think, anything else at the market in this price point. And then a brand like Kawai just has fantastic hold value. So, you know, if you are worried about, hey, what if my kid doesn't play in the next 5-10 years and we gotta get rid of this? Kawai is one of the best resold pianos on the market, a very safe investment, along with pianos like Yamaha. Kawai is one of those ones where the used price kind of trickles up with the price increases that happen from the manufacturer. If you've owned a K-200 or if you've owned a K2, please leave comments below. I know a lot of people looking for the right acoustic instruments. It's a hard decision, and you know, a lot of fear in choosing the wrong instrument. And again, Kawai, the Yamaha B series is also a great line to look at. But these are very safe choices that will get either you or your student very far and makes it an enjoyable instrument to play. The feel, again, on the Millennium III Action, I would say is a little bit superior to anything else that's on the market in this price range. But please leave comments. Let us know if you've enjoyed playing on them, if you've had the opportunity to. If not, please come check out one of the K-200s. We'll have them spread throughout all of our stores. But again, you can find us here in Texas, in San Antonio, or in Austin. We also have stores in Kansas City, the Kansas side, and we have St. Louis in Missouri. There's Ohio, where we have Columbus and Cleveland, and then outside of Detroit in Bloomfield Hills, and then in Traverse City, there is a location there. But come check us out. Those are going to be Kawai Piano Galleries or Alamo Music here in San Antonio. You can always check out our inventory online, again, at alamopianogalleries.com. Please subscribe. Make sure you are signed up for content from our piano and keyboards segment here. We do love to make the segment for you and love to review great instruments. We got lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe, but we also are going to be reviewing the other K-300 series from Kawai. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Patrick Marr, and we'll see you next time.